Hello and welcome to a video you probably won't be expecting. This is a little video tour of my first ever Minecraft world. I still have the save file. This is it running in the current version of Minecraft, hence the shaders and such. But originally this was started, I think, just before Minecraft Beta 1.6. That might not be very long ago for some of you. That might be considered ancient for some of you. But that's when I started playing Minecraft. And you can see my very crude structures I built. This was supposed to be a dock kind of thing, with a jetty across the bay that we just saw. This is going in to my first Minecraft structure. Now when we turn left here, you'll see in the tunnel there is a part on the left with a lower roof. Now I think that did have a minecart track in it, but I've since removed it. Now that track was built in order to complete the on a rail achievement for Minecraft, but it turned out my track wasn't actually a kilometre long, so I didn't get that achievement, but I had the tunnel nonetheless. And this goes back towards where I first dug in to the cliff face or whatever. There's my first mine. And you can go up here. I encountered a small cave there, that's why I branched off into that mine. Now this was my first living space, really. That was where my bed was. This is where I stored wool. I had a thing. I stored wool back in the day. Now this was my first kitchen with a window. I had a furnace, or a pair of furnaces in there. And it came out here, and there you can see, just up there, that's where I moved to. As we take the cinematic camera, and you can have an overview of my little compound. Now my compound, excuse me, my compound had warehouses, factories, lookout towers, and of course a house. And in the bottom of the screen there you can just see it had an archery range with a range of 4 blocks. Now building front and centre is my house. Then we've got a lookout tower to the left and the right, and you can just see through the gap some of the factories. Now this is the view from the top of the house, which is accessible by a ladder from the inside of the house. And there you can see my wool warehouses. No, it's not kept in chests, it's actually kept in block form. And then there's a lookout tower that I would use to see if it was morning yet, if I didn't want to sleep the night. Now there's my mine, based on the X light from X's Adventures in Minecraft. You can see I broke a piece of glass and replaced it with dirt at some point in the past. There's a well down there, and then you can just see the surrounding area. Now we're going to take another cinematic camera ride. Now this is back in the daytime. That grass cube was my experiments to try and spawn a mob. There is a 2 by 1 empty black space in there. That was one of my mines that I eventually, I think I jumped down to commit suicide at some point. Now if you just go through the terrain, something that looks like a modern ravine, but it isn't. Now if we look down here, we can see my first ever Minecraft dungeon, pilfered for everything it had to offer, including the mossy cobblestone. I think there's a couple of bits of mossy cobblestone left down there. Moving on, we go over the hill, past some classic 1.6 terrain, and then there you can see kind of overnight lodge where I'd spent the night a few times when I was exploring, which I did explore this world to a limited degree, but I spent a night here at least once. There's a crafting table in there. Now, as the sun sets, you can see a tower of cobblestone. When I first started playing Minecraft, I didn't have a very good computer. I couldn't handle very good render distances, so I eventually got myself stuck in this valley, and I couldn't see my way out. So this was the site of my very first Minecraft death. I built a tower of all the cobblestone I had in my inventory, and I jumped to my death down here with some of the first items I ever had in the game. Now, if we go the opposite direction from the village, this was my other home from home. I spent a few nights here when I was exploring these mountains, even though it is within viewing distance of my compound. Now you can see from the village, I'd learnt by this point not to get lost, so on my exploration this way I built beacons within visual range of each other, so that I could find my way back when I was exploring. Now the updates have not been kind to my world, turning this desert swamp area into an ice biome. I think it's Tiger Hills or something like that. And then all good things must come to an end, and you can see where the 1.6 terrain generation stopped. It was probably 1.7 actually. But that's my world. If you liked the video, like the video. If you didn't like it, tell me why in the comments. And if you want to, always remember, you can subscribe. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.